Namaste, thanks for joining me. I'm Merkaba Molly. I'm going to do an ascension reading for the energy at the moment. We've got a full moon coming up. So I work with my team. They're called the Star Team. They told me last year they want to be called Star Team. Until then I called them the Spirit Team. So I work with cards, but my spirit team, or my star team rather, pushes the cards out. And I also get messages from psychically. So this reading is going to be about soul contract relationships that are coming up. And this is a message I've been getting, and the first card out is about that. So hopefully you can see that. The message that I've been getting is about, I'm not sure if this is for divine masculine, but I'd say for divine feminine, some divine feminine, and this is not everyone right now, but perhaps it'll be, this video will be relevant in the future for some people. There's a call to be in your divine feminine element, and that is including pleasure and sensuality, and part of this is healing around any shame or guilt that pleasure has for you. So anything that is prohibiting you from enjoying pleasure is needing to be shifted now. And one of the things that I've been guided, or one of the messages I've been getting is a song. I've got to remember the name of the guy who sings it, but basically I heard it on the radio, and then the next day I went into a shop and heard it again. And it says, "Your body is a wonderland." And when it was on the radio, I was picking up the message to listen to that song. And then I heard it in the shop the next day. I was like, that's not a coincidence. So it fits in with all the other messages I've been getting for a couple of weeks now about this. So another message I've been getting was Lakshmi coming through, and she's a goddess of the Hindu religion. And she's very much about femininity, and she was coming through about enjoying yourself as a feminine, and that might be through how you dress or how you behave or act and so on. Then last week I did a Divine Feminine pick a card reading. I did 3 readings for Divine Feminines, so you could use your intuition to pick which one. And at the start of that, my guides were giving me an image of one of the Muppets with long blonde hair, and I couldn't remember her name, but then I looked her up yesterday, and her name is Janice. She's a guitarist in the Muppet band, and she's like a Valley Girl kind of character, but she's very chilled out. And I was thinking more about this. In the Muppets, Miss Piggy is probably the best example of a distorted feminine, and Janice is probably more towards the divine feminine end of the scale. So I just thought that was a funny reference my guides were giving me. There's been so many messages about divine feminine in the last few weeks that I feel it's worthy of a video mentioning all this, so that if you're getting messages as well, you can find some clarity, I guess, or understanding in the sisterhood that this is happening, or it makes sense to you. I'm not making that up. That just flew out, the Divine Feminine card, okay? So definitely this is what we're talking about. I feel like we've got to be in our element right now. We're really being asked to step up, and what the Divine Feminine is a person who is leaving the distorted ways of behaviour and conditioning that we've been working on releasing, and who is in alignment with higher self and source, and acting in that way in 3D reality. So we're coming into higher consciousness. That's what ascension is, ascending in consciousness. But bringing it into the 3D world is also a way of being and people may not recognize what that is, but they may feel it vibrationally. And I'm sure you've met someone who you feel the vibration is different. It's a higher frequency, and that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. So now we'll look at the ascension energies around this. And I'll share a card that I got this morning about this as well, because it was pretty interesting what it said. First I'll use this Sacred Geometry Oracle. Okay. I love how my guides are on point today. So this is the Romantic Love card. And this is basically where I feel this is all leading to, is that we are rising up to be receiving as a divine feminine, because feminine is about receiving. Same with intuition. Intuition is feminine side, feminine energy, or feminine side of receiving, and then masculine is giving. So just to give you a bit of idea around that, and then this is into receiving mode for romantic love. So we're not chasing or anything like that. We're just being ourselves and being happy in ourselves. That's really the focus. The focus is on ourselves. Okay. And I'm hearing this is all for a higher love, a higher love. And there is actually a song like that, isn't there? I often get that as a song message. Now, going back to the Ascension video I posted last week, it was about throat chakra and speaking your truth and manifestation. And I suggest you go back and watch that, because this is all linked. Because another message I'm getting in relation to this, and I've been receiving this for a couple of weeks as well, is that manifestation ability is getting more palpable, more real, but we need to be careful about what we're manifesting. So we need to really clear lower vibrations and lower vibrational thinking so that we manifest higher vibrational things in our life. And so if you need to get something off your chest, do it now. But a second part of this, I feel, is like just a lot of truth is going to come out. And we've been guided to just keep in our own stations, work on ourselves, and keep rising up in consciousness. And I'm being drawn to this light here, which is source, okay? And the connection of source to this lion pouring down. And now the lion is telling me it's all about being strong in yourself. I'm also hearing don't be deterred by what other people say, and trust your intuition and the guidance you are receiving, because that is really important. That is part of the higher consciousness, and the trust in yourself and the trust in source is part of your leveling up. Okay, so since we're talking about leveling up, I'm going to use this Lightworker Oracle, which is really good at telling us where we are in the spiritual sense of things in Ascension. I'm not having a good time shuffling here. This is the Ascension Rainbow Bridge. I'll move these aside. And I'll just read quickly what this is about. And I'll just say quickly, the rainbow energy has been coming up in readings that I've been doing, especially at the beginning of this year. So, Ascension, the Rainbow Bridge. You have been growing spiritually and your consciousness is expanding. It is transforming your experience of the material world from something you must control or conquer into a living expression of the radiant divine. As your appreciation and love for the material world becomes more unconditional, so too does the light that can flow into your aura, chakras, and physical body. As you psychically expand, you may need more rest, healing, and meditation than usual to integrate this increasing degree of light and the consciousness it awakens within you. Okay, so I feel that is definitely part of what is happening in terms of the broader ascension movement for many of us. This is the card I received this morning when I was communicating with my team. It's the goddess, Bastet, and Cat's Eye. Most important is the meaning of it, sacred pleasure. And it's number 44, which is a number that I receive a lot, and I'm sure you do too, as an angel number. So just quickly, I'll sum up what is said in the book because it's quite important to what we are being asked to do as a divine feminine. Pleasure and pain are just a part of the dance of life. You can enjoy pleasure without fearing you will become addicted to it and no longer be able to bear your pain. In fact, knowing you have access to genuine natural pleasure can be a way to manage pain more effectively. It might seem strange, but there can be an addiction to pain just as much as an addiction to pleasure, perhaps even more so considering the state of most people's lives these days. Pain has its rightful place in life, but pleasure does too. We've also got the flip side when there's a yearning for pleasure that is unhealthy and addictive. And what we're aiming for is a middle way where we can experience both without addiction or avoidance. Some people avoid pain so much that they shut off the receptors for the good feelings as well. So I feel this is a very big shift in our growth because we are being asked to release everything that is inhibiting us, but at the same time feel strong and secure.